Former President Trump is slamming Florida Governor Ron DeSantis now. Yesterday, the former president said he's got no personality, and I don't think he's got a lot of political skill. This after Ron DeSantis gave this warning to Republicans on Saturday. Watch this.
There's no substitute for victory. We must reject the culture of losing that has infected our party in recent years. If we make 2024 election a referendum on Joe Biden and his failures, and if we provide a positive alternative for the future of this country, Republicans will win across the board.
Well, that may be the first hint that an announcement that he is running is imminent. And my next guest wrote a new op-ed for the Journal. Don't count Ron DeSantis out, he writes. And that is the Stagwell chairman and CEO and the Harris Poll chairman, Mark Penn. He's also a former senior advisor to the Clintons. Mark, great to see you.
Morning.
When are you expecting Ron DeSantis to make the announcement?
It looks like he's gearing up pretty soon now. Look, I think he really can't wait because, his poll numbers the last 3 or 4 months have been sinking month after month as Trump has been consolidating the Republican base behind him, increasingly so.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think Ron DeSantis has lost some ground in the last couple of months, Mark?
Well, I think there are several things. I think the investigations and the indictments and even the Durham report have strengthened Trump on the one hand. I think Trump is out there communicating pretty strongly. I think he did, pretty fiercely in the CNN interview. And I think DeSantis tried to get kind of the most conservative Republican voters, with stands on abortion and what he's doing with Disney. And I think that kind of backfired because his support is among more moderate and centrist Republican voters, older voters. And so it just didn't click. And so consequently, the more conservative he went, the more he moved away from his mantra that I'm the one who could win with a kind of a positive campaign because he lost the support of centrists.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the Durham report and all of this corruption that we talk about every day, Mark, because you were with me back in the days in 2018 and 2019 when I tripped over the fact that it was a lie, and I kept having Devin Nunes on and John Ratcliffe on, who would inform me every single week and day after day that this was a lie coming out of the Clinton campaign. And I was attacked for it. You were there. You watched it all. You also saw this as a really stunning wrong that was done to someone. It didn't matter that it was Trump. It was about fairness. What about that? Because you just said DeSantis has lost on some areas, but I want to zero in on corruption because I think that the Trump voter and the Trump supporter sees that as one of the biggest issues that they face. And they want to make sure that whoever is the nominee for 2024 is going to stomp out this corruption and is not going to be afraid to go head to head with these people who are destroying our democracy with these lies. Is Ron DeSantis up for that? That's what the Trump supporter likes about Trump. Mark Penn froze just on that. Lee Carter, you were there with me as well throughout all of those days back in 2018 and 19. How do you see it?
Well, the way I see it is the more that this corruption comes to light, the more it benefits Donald Trump, because what we've seen is there are a lot of voters who said that they were done with Donald Trump, that they were over him, and they're giving him the benefit of the doubt again because they're saying, you know what, we're tired of all of this unfairness. They're tired of one thing after the other. They view many of the things that have happened to him as politicization, and that benefits him. Ron DeSantis has really lost some steam on some really key issues. If he were to focus on his blueprint for Florida going forward, I think he would have a whole lot more success. The problem, the way I see it, though, for anyone that's opposing Donald Trump, is it's a really tough road. The more candidates that jump in, we're seeing Mike Pence really getting ready to jump in. We're seeing others really getting ready to jump in. And 538 really suggests that if anyone has ever got more than 30% of the vote a year out, it's almost impossible to beat them. Donald Trump's numbers are solid, they're strong, and they're growing. They don't seem to be shakeable.
And he's much higher than Ron DeSantis right now.
There's no doubt about it.
With Mark Penn. Mark, did you hear my question?
Yeah, look, the Durham report really confirmed everything that you or I were saying back then. Look, I read the Steele dossier. It was a joke. It was a clear fabrication. And I think the Durham report takes it apart piece by piece, traced back where it came from, how the whole thing was really a fraud, how there was no basis for the investigation, how it really was the higher levels of the FBI that pulled back investigations on the Clintons and moved forward at every turn investigations of Trump without any real evidence. I read every page. It was a stunning affirmation of everything that you went out there and said and everything that I saw as well.
Yeah, you did say it, and I was great to see. I was feeling supported just by you because you at the time were a Democrat, and you're a Democrat now, and you basically call the shots as you see it. You are fair-minded, as I am as well, and it was just not fair to be attacking one person based on a lie, and then it goes viral. I'll tell you, Hillary Clinton is on another level. I mean, to be able to push that through and get these agencies on her side to do it. But a recent Yahoo News YouGov poll shows that Americans find inflation and the debt limit and the border as much bigger issues than wokeness, Mark. Does that impact DeSantis' White House bid as well?
Well, that's where I said DeSantis should come out for a balanced budget. Go back to basics. Take a real fiscal argument like that. No one's said come out for a balanced budget in a long time. 81% of the voters believe in it. People know that the runaway spending is creating inflation. They need somebody here who's got an economic policy that deals with all this. It deals with immigration, crime, inflation, government spending. And I'd make the balanced budget a key part of the campaign and differentiate himself from Trump and Biden, both of whom, frankly, are big spenders.
Yeah, but how are you going to get to a balanced budget? I mean, do you see a balanced budget anytime soon? You're going to have to see some serious cutbacks in spending, something Joe Biden will not agree to.
Well, we had a plan. We had a plan back in the 90s that was very successful. It is a combination of fiscal measures. Remember, but you need economic growth. Economic growth is, after all, the key to getting to a balanced budget along with fiscal restraints. It's possible in 6 or 7 years. It happened in 2 years in the Clinton administration. We never actually expected it. And boom, as soon as we put it through, the budget was balanced.
And he came together with Newt Gingrich to have the commitment to America. Mark, it's great to see you. Thanks very much. Mark Penn joining us. We'll be watching all of this. It's going to be important and exciting. We'll be right back. Stay with us.